Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Sahu has logged in or not logged in? Have you checked out? Yes, he has logged in. He has logged in. Dr. Sahu, are you there? Are you online? Dr. Sahu, if you are online, can you please respond?
ଖାଲି ସାଉଣ୍ଡ ଟା ଆସିଲା ଖାଲି ଘଡଘାଡ ଘଡଘାଡ
Dr. Sahu, are you online?
ଏଇ
Yes, yes. Now you are visible.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Now you are visible. Now you are visible.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. So let us wait for another few minutes because only 52 students have joined so far.
Oh, the students are still.
Let us wait for some time.
Okay.
Yesterday, my laptop went out of order. Therefore, I'm using another laptop.
Yesterday.
But in this laptop, the camera is not there, so my face is not visible to you. I am able to see all of you, but I cannot show my face.
Okay.
But in mobile, it is very much available. But mobile is, that is handy. But laptop is always good.
Laptop is good.
Dear students, if you have not, written your name and enrollment number in the chat box, please do it immediately so that it will be like your attendance. All those students are requested to write their name and enrollment number in the chat box. Chat box is available on the top right hand corner of your screen.
era ଉପରକୁ ఏంటని ମୋ ପିକ୍ଚର କେମିତି ଆସିବ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଖାଲି ସେତିକି ହେଇଗଲା ନା ତାର ଦରକାର
So let us start. Good afternoon, Dr. Sahu.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to all the students, those who have joined in this online class of B.Ed, which is specially dedicated to BES-121. Like previous classes, today the same subject will also be dealt with by our esteemed counselor, Dr. Harikrishna Sahu. So far, 99 students have joined, and maybe it is quite likely that others will join during the course of time. All of you know that these sessions we have been organizing especially for the benefit of the learners, because situation is different at the moment. You are not able to go to the study center. Therefore, this is the only platform left for us to reach out to you. In this particular session, your questions will be taken towards the end, and you are all requested to write down your questions in the chat box. If you start asking questions verbally, a lot of time will be consumed. Therefore, we have decided to take questions in the written form through the chat box. Okay. So please listen to Dr. Sahu carefully, and whatever questions you have, please write it down in the chat box so that we will take it up one after another after the presentation is over. Now I would request Dr. Sahu to take over and start his presentation. Dr. Sahu, can you please take over the classroom and start your presentation?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Let us start. So, good afternoon, everyone, and I welcome to third day counseling session. Yesterday, I have covered the last unit of BES-121 Block 1 and first unit of BES-121 Block 2. And in this block, there are still 3 units left. Only first unit we discussed yesterday, and you also participated well in the discussion, and different pertinent questions you have also raised, and I, along with Dr. Honorable Director, have tried to satisfy your queries. So I hope you will listen my discussion patiently. So the rest 3 units are like this: different perspectives in child development, then dimensions of child development and methods of studying children and adolescents. So these 3 units to be covered today. Then we'll finish this block 2 and switch over to another block tomorrow. So here in these 3 units, we'll see that what are the different perspectives of development. We have, in nutshell, we have discussed the different stages of development, and all those stages are interlinked, non-independent. So for the wholesome development of the individual, around development of the individual, all those development must take place, or need to be, are necessary for children. Suppose how it is interdependent. Suppose a physical development, unless we have good physical development, physically we are not sound. Similarly, that will affect the mental development, intellectual development. Similarly, will not be sociable. The social development will affect, and will not be mature to control our emotion and moral development. So like this. So physical development and other our internal organs must be properly developed. For suppose cognitive development. For cognitive development, our brain must be properly developed. And brain, we know that brain instructs, gives direction to do certain, to performers, to perform different activities. So many functions, many activities are conducted due to the which are coming under cognitive functions. More knowledge. So cognitive abilities are more used by the students in school. Similarly, we think of if we take questions into account, while framing question, more questions are from cognitive aspect, then social aspect, then affective aspect, and psychomotor aspect. So all developments are interlinked, interdependent also. Similarly, this is now we'll see how different aspects influence the development uh, and different types of dimensions of development in the next unit. And the last unit is also, that is another important aspect, the study of methods of studying children and adolescents. That is also another very important aspect that as a school teacher, secondary school teacher, we should know that how can we study the behavior of the learner, students. Suppose in a class, the different categories of learners. Mostly ours is a heterogeneous class. In heterogeneous setting, a teacher uh, has difficulty in identifying different categories of learners. So first thing is, a teacher should know what are the different types of learners. As they're coming from different contexts, different backgrounds. We have already discussed what are the different background, different perspectives, context they have come from. They have come to school. So irrespective of different backgrounds and taking their backgrounds into account, we have to identify every learner. Then after identifying what problems they are facing, accordingly, a teacher should find out the solution. Suppose there are students who are not so quick learners. They take some more time to understand the things, understand the content. Some students are poor in mathematics, science, language, like this. So for them, we have to take extra time, extra coaching is necessary. And some students are very not so social. You might have marked as a teacher, you might come across, let's say, experience that some students are very inattentive in the class. Students are very shy. So how to handle this category of students? Some students are very poor in reading abilities. You might have seen a picture. There is a main part, dyslexia, that is a problem. This is dysfunction of brain. The brain must coordinate the motor function. Motor function, motor abilities are directed by our brain. Without brain cooperation or instruction, we cannot show our motor abilities. So hence, we have to see the different problems. What is the root of the problem? We have to see. So now we'll see how our maturation takes place, how our we as a teacher, as a child, what type of love and affection we expect from parents, which is also necessary for social development, our cultural influence. So many things to be discussed in this unit. So let us start first the different perspectives in child development and their educational implication. We'll see perspectives in child development and what educational opportunities or steps can be taken to promote this. So first comes biological perspective, then lifespan perspective, bioecological perspective, cognitive perspective, and socio-cultural perspective. Five perspectives are taken into account, which has relation with the child development. So in this biological perspective, that is also another, we may call it that biopsychological perspective, biopsychology, psychological. So that speaks that Arnold Gesell, all children go through the same stages of development based on the maturation of their brain and body. So that That is the finding, that it is seen that all children go through the same stages of development based on the maturation of the brain and body. This is expected. And normative approach, basing on the normative approach, that this is seen that maturation of brain is necessary while doing any physical activities. First, for suppose say swimming, unless we are physically strong or mature to do this activity, we cannot swim. Riding cycle, suppose say riding cycle, learning riding cycle or say driving motorcycle. So first thing, a child, if he is not physically competent, strong, so how can he lift cycle and motorcycle? So for riding bicycle, physical strength is necessary. Unless he is physically strong, how can he ride cycle? How can he dance? How can he walk? How can he swim? So these motor activities depend. Learning of these activities depend on definitely maturation. Without body maturation, physical maturity, they are not able to do these physical activities. So similarly, as so far as academic function is concerned, that is related to brain or cognitive function. So brain must be accordingly properly matured. Uh, so this shows that all children go through the same stages of development based on the maturation of the brain and body. He has studied Arnold Gesell. He has studied that a norm, there are must be certain norm and standard. Suppose admission of what is the age of admission to primary school or say preschool? Why? It has been fixed that age 6, age 3 for primary school, and pre-primary school preschool, and 6 for primary school. Why that age has been taken into account, has been fixed 6 years age, or say age 3? Because after study, that is called normative study, longitudinal study, it has been seen, it has observed that at the age of 6, their mental age is ready, fit for reading or understanding things or acquiring knowledge and skills. So when that is the readiness of children, mental age fit for reading is 6.5 years. That is the findings. So this normative, this biological or maturation point of view, it is accepted that at the age of 6.5 years or around 6, we accept that they are mature to acquire different academic, mature to receive academic achievement. They can achieve different, or they can understand different subjects. So in this way, we have to take into account their maturity while giving education. Then another aspect. So biological perspective has two dimensions. One is maturation, another is maturation point of view and attachment point of view. Attachment point of view, John Bowley, 1907 to 91. He has said that the importance of the early parent-child affects relationship in developing desirable social, emotional, and cognitive development. The importance of early parent-child relationship. So parent-child relationship is plays a very key role in the process of socialization. I have already told you, we have discussed. So hence we must accept that parent-child relations, there must be good parent-child relationship. If there is a good relation, good understanding, very conducive atmosphere, a child live, love and affection where they will get. So in that family, definitely they will be socially developed. Definitely they will be socially matured. They are more accepted by others. They are quite sociable. And another thing is, we see that children, two things are here. The family provides security to the children. And only in family, a child feels secure. So feeling security is a need. You may go through Maslow, the hierarchical needs. There are different needs of individual. A child or during the life period, we need different need in hierarchical order. First, basic needs, hunger needs, that is the basic needs, and we call it lower needs. And then increasing a higher order of skill, that is self-actualization need. So under different types of need, one need also coming after hunger, basic needs, security needs. And a child finds secure in family. You might have observed the psychology of a little child. When his father is absent at home, he will feel insecure. Because in patriarchal family, parent father is considered as powerful, strong than mother. And you might have seen this observation or experience that when father is absent at home, a child will feel insecure. So security necessary. Similarly, belongingness, love, affection, esteem needs, ego. So security, attachment that is related to love, he must be attached with must secure love from parents. So love, children uh, must seek love from the parents, and all the parents must realize this. And insecure attachment also there. When the parents are absent, weekly once they come to the children to see. So in this case, you might be thinking how the tender mind is um, neglected. So hence attachment model that has also good impact, and that's what is the implication of this attachment model. How this model attachment viewpoint can be utilized in school. We know that school is a home away from home. School is considered as a home away from home. Up to the age 3, if preschool up to 6, so take example up to age 6, all children are staying with their parents. They seek love and affection. They want to be loved by their parents. That is the natural feeling of every child. So after when they attain the age 6, they go to primary school, or at the age of 3, they go to preschool. So this is might be some unnatural in case of the students. Some and different types of expectation must occur in their minds. They might be all children might be expecting that type of atmosphere at school. To whom was there was very loving, very conducive atmosphere. Children, family, parents were quite caring. So they might be thinking the school, the children, teachers must also take care of them. Teachers must be very loving and caring. So that is their expectation and thinking. And the teachers must fulfill this expectation. So the teacher has to um, understand their expectation, and accordingly they should behave the students. So teacher must be loving, very caring in this aspect, so that they will feel that homely atmosphere at school. The schools, prior to this, they did not have school concept. What is the school? They were not aware. So the moment they join the school, they find a different world. So in order to minimize this thinking, the teacher should create such a very conducive, cozy atmosphere so that they will think that they are still at home. The same love and affection are getting from teachers. If they think so, then definitely in this conducive atmosphere, the learning will take place. So learning cannot take place in a autonomous or stereotype process. So for learning, natural homely atmosphere is necessary so that they will feel homely, and then will be ready to receive knowledge. Then so this is how this attachment viewpoint, attachment model, or maturation model are applicable in educational situation. Then the second perspective is lifespan perspective. Lifespan perspective speaks that development is a lifelong process, and development throughout the life within a changing socio-cultural context. So development does not cease, or is not ceased here after adolescence. So take the say infancy, different stages: infancy, childhood, adolescent, and adulthood. From 18 onwards till the end of our life, we come across different problems. So how to select, how to um, achieve our objectives, how can we compensate, how can we select a job. So during lifetime, we have the individual um come across different stages and different experiences. He has come across infancy stage, childhood stage, adolescent stage, and adulthood. So he has been infant. So being infant, he has also experiences. As a child, he has experiences. As an adolescent, he has a lot of experiences. So taking these experiences of different stage, so he will think himself what type of individual he is now. Then these experiences will be utilized here at the last of this adulthood, and will imagine how these years influence the kind of individual he will become future. So adulthood is the result of the preceding stages, these stages. So if someone is physically strong, sociable, quite matured, emotionally balanced, then his adult life will be effective. He will be an effective member, adult. All births developed a model that is named selective optimization and compensation model, SOC. So here in this model, he has seen that how our will everybody wants to be use his maximum to a maximum extent. Suppose someone is trying to become a doctor. That is so his ambition is to become a doctor. Doctor. So say if this is his ambition, so how has he fixed his ambition? How did he fix his ambition? Out of many options relating to various careers, he has selected doctor. From surroundings or environment, him to select a doctor as a profession. So, for achieving this objective, doctor, what he has to do? He has to explore the situation, opportunities. He has to work hard. He has to secure good marks in science subject. So, when he could become a doctor, then we can say that he has optimized his objectives and selection is quite good. While reading science subject, suppose he school could not provide or good opportunity for relating to the science subject. So what he will do? How he will compensate? He will compensate his desired ambition reading other books, other science as a related journal, from which he will increase his knowledge. So if school does not provide or fails to provide knowledge, the good knowledge or enriched knowledge, enriched science knowledge relating to particular science or scientific knowledge, so he compensates this knowledge by purchasing different books and going through these books, he can enrich his knowledge. So, similarly in other way, this is also applied while selecting. We cannot select all objectives simultaneously. To become a doctor, why did we select this? So why not others? So while selecting doctors, we have to reject some other objectives. ତେଣୁ କିଛି ପାଇବାକୁ ହେଲେ କିଛି ହରେଇବା ଦରକାର, ତେଣୁ ସିଲେକ୍ସନ ବେଳେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେୟା ହଉଛି. So there are different here mentioned characteristics of lifespan perspective. There are different key features herein mentioned. Many features have been mentioned. That will take time. You may go through the books. That is in page 31, 32. So in lifespan period, how do we suppose? How do we provide education facilities to the adults? Formal way. Suppose formal setting is quite not appropriate, comfortable, or not suitable for the adult learners. Those adults, they want to know other things non-formally. Suppose say through IGNOU mode. IGNOU is a non-formal mode. So adults, they can learn many things from study centers. So adult members, so non-formally, they can learn. So for this, for them, open distance learning, individual instruction. Next one I will. Hello.
Yes, Dr. Saab,
Hello.
is there any problem?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you are very much
Okay,
audible.
okay,
You are very much
okay,
audible.
okay, okay. So this is a lifespan period, and particularly for adults. When we apply this lifespan model, the education, what is the educational implication? We see that adults, they can learn education or different courses by open distance learning and individualized instruction, self-learning materials. As you might have experienced, and you are also experiencing, these materials are self-learning materials. So for adults, these materials will be quite beneficial for them. They can be benefited out of these materials. So next, bioecological perspective. So here we see the studying children and their background is necessary. Yesterday we are discussing different agencies of education. So ecology, our background, how living things fit in with our environment, that is to be taken account. So yesterday we are discussing microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, and macrosystem. So there are different bioecological perspectives which influence our development. Brenner bioecological model of development, that is also here in your book. So how different family structure, how different family structure influence the development. A very good example has also given. So here, yesterday somebody was asking question relating to different types of family background. So you see, when children are coming from different family background, yesterday we were asking that single family, nuclear family, extended family. So nuclear family, mainly as I have told you, that both parents, father and mother and children, father and mother and children, maybe say single child or two. So the children are confined to father and mother. But in single family, so maybe father or mother. If mother is not alive, then single father, the student, the child, the care is taken by father or mother. And extended family, we may call it joint family, where the students will experience father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt, cousins, like this. So different family. So here in this bioecological perspective, there are different types like microsystem, where parents, caregivers, they're there to take care of the child. The mesosystem, neighborhood, school, peers. Exosystem, parents and parents' workplace, mass media, government, and social policy. Then macro system, historical events, attitude, ideas, ethnic group, ideology, democracy, individual freedom, like this. So bioecological perspective, that is to be taken into account while taking a class. You might have seen that some children are very aggressive in nature, short-tempered, inattentive, very shy, depressed. So why these different types of behavior are seen in classroom? So every teacher must have patience to observe their behavior. So some students, particularly the poor learners, they want positive reinforcement. Gifted learners, they want negative reinforcement. So positive, slow learners, they think some positive reinforcement, let my children give. Love, affection, oh yes, very good. So we have to encourage them, inspiration. They want motivation, encouragement. So accordingly, the teacher should raise their confidence level. So when some children are found aggressive, so how these cases will be properly handled? Inattentive. Their attention span is very little. So how we can see this? How can we can handle this? So microsystem is the immediate environment in which the child lives in. Immediate environment. Our family, neighbors, uh, mostly family members, father, mother, they are coming under the microsystem. They are our immediate agent of socializing our system, children. Then mesosystem consists of the interrelationship or linkage between two or more microsystems. Two or more microsystems. That means family, school, family, one microsystem, school, a second microsystem. So parent, school, a teacher combinedly are responsible in this interrelationship, in building the relationship. And exosystem refers to social settings. Parents, workplace, mass media, government, social policy. So this also influence the development. Suppose parent's job. For example, if a child's parent job lost his job, that may have negative on the child, and she may feel in difficulty in paying fees and purchasing other items. On the other side, promotion of parent. If a parent is promoted to next higher post and he enjoy more salary, then they must have positive influence on the child. He may meet father, may meet the demands of the children. So in this case, the children, the development, positive development is possible. And macrosystem is the largest cultural context in which the microsystem, mesosystem, and exosystems are embedded. So here in this macrosystem, that includes ideology of democracy, individual freedom, the historical events, our attitude. So these things involve in democracy. When suppose democracy, definitely children at home, they will feel freedom, enjoy freedom. in school, the teachers will also allow democracy, allow freedom. In social atmosphere also, we are abide these rules and democratic principles. After all, ours is a democratic country. So in bioecological system, that means our biological system as well as ecological system combinedly develop our combinedly influence our development. Then we'll switch over to another aspect, that is okay. So next we'll switch over to cognitive perspective, cognitive function, that is the more important aspect so far as child's learning is concerned and school is concerned. The cognitive development must
Dr. Sahu, your video has been freezed. Dear students, please wait. There is some problem there in the connectivity. So Dr. Sahu will again re-log in.
बंद करा
हाँ कटि जाइए आपन टिके टिके एक्सपीराइट करिवे एक्चुअली कोन ने समयटा कम रहउछि तो हाँ टिके एक्सपीराइट कर देबे जल्दी हबो नहीं ठीक है आपण देख देखे ठीक है कर दिस Students, please wait. There is some connectivity issue.
hello.
Please, yes, please carry on. Please carry on with your
So
presentation.
we're discussing cognitive perspective. In cognitive perspective, the main propagator of this cognitive perspective, cognitive approach is famous cognitive psychologist Jean Piaget. According to him, that he focuses on how children construct their understanding of the world as they pass through different 4 stages. So according to him, there are 4 stages of cognitive development. One is sensory motor, then pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. These are the 4 stages of cognitive development. In sensory motor, the children gain knowledge through sense and motor skills. So through knowledge, sense organs helps in gaining knowledge. He touches different objects and try to hold this object, manipulate the objects, thereby he develops the concept. Then pre-operational stage begins to speak words and count numbers. Then concrete operational begin to think logically. Logical thinking starts uh, from 7 to 11. That is the logical thinking takes place. But till now, the abstract concept, it fails to understand the abstract concept. And only in formal operation stage, he is able to know the abstract concept, theoretical concept, and he can find the logic. Applying the logic, he can create solve the different solutions of this problem. So here, according to Jean Piaget, there are 4 stages of cognitive development sequentially. As already we have told you that development is quite sequential. So these 4 stages are quite sequential. First, they learn sense organs. But sense organs are the basic foundation of receiving the knowledge. Then subsequently, other thinkings are developed. In cognition, cognitive we have I କହିଛୁ ଯେ cognition ରେ memory ଆସୁଛି, thinking ଆସୁଛି, lower order of thinking, higher order of thinking. Knowledge is the lower order, then understanding to some extent higher, then application, evaluation, application, analysis, synthesis, and application. That is the most highest model of the thinking. So when the students are able to apply, that means the highest order of thinking. Logical thinking, that's the highest order of thinking, critical thinking. So these are the different orders of thinking, and he has clarified that how the student construct their understanding. Then comes information processing approach. So here in this information processing approach, the mental hardware consists of cognitive structure. Cognitive structure or mental or memory head is considered as a hardware, where all the information are stored, including memories, where information are stored. Whereas mental software includes organized set of cognitive process that assist individual to complete specific tasks. So all the information concepts are stored in the memory. And then when our mind, our thinking is developed, then that assists him to complete different specific tasks. So memory here is necessary, a mental process that acts as software, and memory or head thinking, that is the hardware. Then another is developmental cognitive neuroscience approach. Developmental cognitive neuroscience approach. So here in this approach, we have to see that the brain and other neurological functions, the function of brain as well as nervous system, neurological functions, they are linked. So example is also given, the dyslexia. Dyslexia is a problem when there is disorder, no link between our brain and other motor skill. and other neurological process. ଏଥିରେ ଆମର ଡିସ୍ଲେକ୍ସିଆରେ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ଅଛି ସେ ପିଲାଟା ପଢ଼ିପାରୁନି, ତାର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ କେହି ବୁଝିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି। ସେ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ସେ ଅକ୍ଷର ଗୁଡ଼ା ତାକୁ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି। ହି ଫେଲ୍ସ ଟୁ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ବିଟୱିନ୍ ପି ଲେଟର ଆଣ୍ଡ ବି ଲେଟର। ସିମିଲାର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରୋକ୍ ରହୁଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ବୁଝିପାରୁନି। ସୋ ସେ କହୁଛି ଯେ ଲେଟର୍ସ ଆର୍ ଡ୍ୟାନ୍ସିଂ ଫର୍ ମି। ତେଣୁ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍। ତେଣୁ ସେ ଅଟିଜିମ୍, ଡିସ୍ଲେକ୍ସିଆ, ଏଇ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ାକୁ ନିହାତି ଜାଣିବା ଦରକାର। ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଯଦି ପଢ଼ିପାରୁନି କ'ଣ ତାର ଅସୁବିଧା ରହୁଛି, ୱିଦାଉଟ୍ knowing the proper root, the root problem, the teacher scold him like anything else. So the teacher in this case must explore every individual had their real problem. Then socio-cultural perspective. The propounder of this socio-cultural perspective is Vygotsky. So according to him, the child thinking does not develop in a vacuum, but rather it is influenced by the socio-cultural context in which he or she grow up. So here that child's thinking does not develop in vacuum. His thinking develops in context. What is that context? That context is social cultural context. So while giving, while teaching or taking classes, we have to take into account the socio-cultural context of the children, his background, culture. So in social way, social learning in social way was collaborative in group. When the children will sharing themselves regarding a concept or a problem, so they will learn things. So education or learning must take place in collaborative strategies. Collaborative strategy necessary is used in the classroom. So knowledge is generated from within the individual, but rather that is constructed through interaction. And it is constructed through interaction with the pupil who have different thought process and who belong to various cultures. Then through interaction they will learn. In collaborative way they learn. So if a child fails to understand a concept, then while discussing with their peers, he will learn that concept from other students. So in collaborative approach, that is why necessary in social setting, socio-cultural setting, learning will take place. Then another unit 6, next unit, dimensions of child development. Will not go detail into this. Here in this dimension of different development, here physical development. So what different physical development takes place during different stages: childhood, infancy, and adolescence. So more or less we have discussed physical growth or development is necessary, which influence other development. So infancy stage, childhood, adolescent, proper development must be taken care of, and different development takes place during the different stages. And again I am to remind you and say that infancy rapid growth, then childhood steady growth, then adolescent again rapid changes takes place so far as physical development is concerned. Then emotional development. Emotional development, love and positive emotion are quite necessary. We have different types of emotion: positive emotion and negative emotion. Positive emotion, we must provide positive emotion, or we see that positive emotion are there are in children. They know, they are curious. If the children are quite happy, joy, curious, fearless, then at this in this environment we can teach them, and then they will feel comfortable in this environment. So sometimes it is said, we have seen that some students are quite aggressive, moody. So this is not a good symptom of the emotion. So their emotion must be properly handled. Uh, the teacher have to create trust among the children, and they should believe, have faith on their teachers. Particularly adolescent stage, students they trust more to their friends than their parents. So all these things we have to see, and we have to be very careful in this aspect. Then another very important dimension is cognitive development. Uh, Cognitive development, there are different stages. Already I have told you that four stages of cognitive development: sensory motor, pre-operational, uh, concrete operational, and formal operation. These are four stages of cognitive development. So now we'll see here cognitive aspect, that means particularly the thinking aspect. So here Piaget identified the main propounder of this cognitive development, cognitive aspect is in Piaget. He has identified that children actively construct their own cognitive worlds. To make sense of the world, they organize their experience and adapt their thinking to include new information. So Piaget introduced several other important components. According to Piaget, cognitive development occurs from two processes: adaptation and equilibrium. Adaptation involves the child's changing to meet situational demands. Adaptation involves two sub-processes: assimilation and accommodation. Assimilation is the application of previous concepts. So cognitive development occurs two processes: adaptation and equilibrium. Adaptation and equilibrium. And adaptation involves two processes. There are sub-processes, that is assimilation and accommodation. So hence we will see that under adaptation there are two processes: assimilation and accommodation, then equilibrium. In assimilation is the application of previous concept to new concept. Suppose in case of a concept of dog, a child has experienced identified dog. Dog has 4 feet. So already he has developed, he has the knowledge, he has concept, and when another animal, suppose horse, dog and horse, he finds the similarity. He has also 4 feet. Horse has also 4 feet. So he might be thinking that this is also called dog. So he applies first the previous concept. In assimilation stage, the application of previous concept to new concept. Then accommodation helps that the child now discovers that is the new creature, new living creature. and that is called hers. Not even if there are similarity, so we call it hers. That is the process of accommodation. So accommodation is the altering of previous concept in the face of new information. Accommodation what happens? The child alters the previous concept of dog, alters this concept in the new phase, hers. That is the new information. And this, when he is confirmed that this is not dog, this is another animal, hers. That is the stage of equilibrium. So equilibrium is the search for balance between self and the world. So he similarly he learns other concepts. So he applies his cognitive abilities through this process, adaptation and equilibrium. There are under this adaptation, assimilation, accommodation, and lastly equilibrium. Through this applying this, he learns other different concepts. So similarly, concept is formed. So what different developmental milestones are also mentioned here. We will not go into detail. Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational, all kinds of different activities or developmental characteristics that is mentioned here in book. We need not go into detail. Then moral development. Moral development starts with the differentiating between right and wrong. So the children earlier stage they fail to understand what is right and what is wrong, and this is a very good example of adolescent stage. Even if in adolescent stage they do not identify himself, say, who am I? Still he will put in question some expectation from parents, another expectation teachers, and what is his expectation. Hmm? So moral development, that is why the difference between right and wrong. So sometimes the children fall in dilemma. There are more types of two types of dilemma: heteronomous moralities, two types of moral dilemma: heteronomous moralities related to cognitive development, and autonomous morality. Example: Rajat stole 2 pieces of kachori for his hungry brother. Example, two example are given. One is that Rajat कौन गला ना data piece kachuri near his little brother was very hungry, so to satisfy his hunger he stole 2 pieces of kachuri. And another example, Shivani stole 2 pieces of hairband. So according to heteronomous morality, Rajat is guiltier than Shivani because 2 kachuri cost even if more than hairband, but the need he could satisfy his hunger, brother's hunger. But in autonomous morality, Shivani is guiltier because he is being deceitful. Rajat has good intention of sustaining his hunger brother. So here morality, which act is correct? Both have done wrong. Rajat has stolen and Shivani has stolen. But situation is different. He has stolen to know the basic necessity he was hungry, and Shivani has stolen to two-piece hairband, which is not as much needed as Rajab. So, hence morality can be described in this way. Kohlberg's theory of moral development. Moral reasoning or moral dilemma. There are sequence of 6 stages of moral reasoning. Kohlberg has developed his theory. There are moral dilemma, and there are 6 sequential stages, 6 stages of moral reasoning. And this theory he has developed in case of boys, and his theory has developed from self-centeredness to other-centeredness. Example, different examples are given. Pre-conventional level, punishment obedience orientation, conventional level, then goodbye nice girl orientation, law and order orientation. So first pre-conventional level, he knows he's self-centered. He knows himself. If I do some mistake in case of say using incriminating materials in examination, so whether he has taken a cheat, but whether he will use it in examination or not, he falls in dilemma. So he will think, if I use the incriminating materials, then that is not good. The teacher will punish me. So that is self-centered. I might be thinking that I should not be punished. That is the first pre-conventional stage. And last stage, that is universal stage 6, post-conventional level, stage 6, universal ethical principle orientation. And he doesn't use it because he applies his conscience, and that lastly that becomes his personal integrity. Due to his personal integrity, he doesn't use this. So, starting from pre-conventional level to post-conventional level, that post-conventional level, that is the self-centered, that is other-centeredness. If I do this, the others will take it differently. So like this is the thinking, applying this thinking or reasoning, he doesn't use it. Then another theory, Gilligan's stages of ethics of care. So he has similarly also different sequence of moral development in the form of ethics of care. So he has studied among the women. Women, they are likely to think of right and wrong in terms of care and relationship, whereas men tend to think in terms of rules and justice. Similarly, different stages, the pre-conventional morality, conventional morality, post-conventional morality. So in this post-conventional morality, principle of non-violence, not to hurt others, relation involves two people. With example, they have derived. He has derived this principle. Then comes holistic psychosocial. Another is that is left psychosocial development. So next, psychosocial development. So Erik Erikson is the main propagator, main propounder of the psychosocial development. So the developmental crisis. So in the psychosocial development, children fall in dilemma and developmental crisis. So he has developed 8 stages: the basic trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus doubt, initiation versus guilty, industrious versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion, intimacy versus isolation, generality versus stagnation, ego, generativity versus stagnation, and ego integrity versus despair. So that these are the different psychological developmental crises, but dilemma they face during these stages. Here example is given at page 59. That what, suppose a child Ravi, a 10-year old boy, he is good in drawing. His drawing is quite well appreciated by teachers, but his parents do not appreciate his drawing. He says that if you take drawing as your career, no benefit will get, you will not be benefited. And he gives, he doesn't care. I love this, accept this. Sometimes he is also punished, called careless boy. He therefore feels inferior. So that is why when he is good at drawing and he is discouraged, he is punished, feels definitely inferior. So industry, if someone is someone writes good poetry, good poem, then he is encouraged, motivated to write another poem. So that is the demonstration of industry. So basic trust, mistrust, autonomy, doubt. So these are the different crises, developmental crises are seen in different stages in the during developmental stages. So all these things should be taken care of. If this type of inferiority feeling is there, then a teacher has to see this and motivation to be given to them, so that in academic achievement they will score, they will do better. Then holistic development, holistic understanding of development. Holistic development, this is the last aspect, where we will find the interrelationship among various dimensions: physical, emotional, cognitive, psychological, moral, psychosocial, and moral. So in page 61, very good diagram has been diagrammatically presented. A development of child, how this is influenced: physical development, emotional development, cognitive development, psychosocial development, moral development. So all these development are interrelated. So you can understand this interrelationship, that for wholesome development, for long development, a child has to be physically sound, mentally developed, emotionally also well balanced, socially acceptable, and morally right. So if all this development take place appropriately, then we can say, and he can only be a good member, good adolescent, good adult, and he can be an effective member in the society. So in this way, the teacher has to facilitate the learning situation He has to see how proper care can be taken for promoting all this development. And accordingly, facilities should be given to the children. If the students are physically not strong or needs development, then physical exercise, physical education, through physical education, we can improve their physical health. Similarly, mental exercise will be necessary. How this different values will be inculcated among the students, how their cognitive or the memory or thinking power will be developed, how they will be creative, moral development, moral they will be strong, correct, psychosocial development, how different agencies will be linked together for development. So all these things will be taken into account, and teacher hence has to be very careful in this aspect. Then we'll sort out the last unit. We'll not have much time in this aspect. Then we'll see that methods of studying children and adolescents. Now we have seen different stages of development, how environment, culture of society, and other different agencies play a specific role in the developmental process. So now we'll see what are the different methods of studying children and adolescents. How can we study?
Dr. Sahu, your image is not coming. Your video is, I think, it's not working.
Video. Subuni, I'm taking the Subuni.
Your voice is
Hello?
clear. Voice is clear, but the video is not coming.
Video is not coming. That's really. Eta. Asa ଟିକେ ତାର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଇଏରୁ ସରିଗଲା.
You can continue, no problem. You can continue with that. Students, please wait. There is some connectivity issue with the counselor. So till he, enters into the classroom, please wait. All your questions will be answered towards the end of the session. All these questions are there in the chat box. So we'll take up one after another. If anybody can contribute, because this is an interactive platform, since there is some problem there in the connectivity of Dr. Sahu till he comes online, if any one of you can add to the presentation on anything that you can add also. If you want to speak on anything, you can unmute your speaker and you can come online. All are requested to kindly wait for some time. Please remain online for some time.
लाइफ स्पैन परसेप्टिव रो सिलेक्टिव जो एसओसी मॉडल टा सर बुझे देबे
नहीं आपण काउंसलर आसंतु लेट द काउंसलर कम ऑन लाइन he will explain. Please write this particular question in the chat box, so towards the end of the session this question will be asked to him and he will respond to it. Now what I wanted to say, if any one of you wants to speak, if any one of you want to add something to the presentation given by Dr. Sahu, you can also add, because it is open platform. If you want to speak on anything related to the subject, you can also speak. आपनको प्रश्न ए सेशन रो शेष बेल को तार उत्तर दिया हेबो काउंसलर आसला परे तांकर कनेक्टिविटी प्रॉब्लम अछि टिके once he gets connected and once he completes his presentation, then all these questions will be asked to him for answer. Okay, so you write your question in the chat box, so I will take up one question after another and we will go on like that. So are you understanding what Dr. Sahu is presenting here in this particular session?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, his presentation is highly standard, sir, and we are getting him very perfectly. And if any doubt is arising, we are placing it in the chat box.
Yes. You see, learning is an organic process. There is no end to learning. Whatever little you are getting to this online platform, just keep it as a base and go on acquiring knowledge and information from various other sources. Okay. Then only you will be very confident on the subject you are taught. Okay. Whatever is given by the teacher is just a peanut. There is plenty of things related to the subject which are available outside. So try to find out those resources which are available outside and acquire them as far as possible. Right?
Okay, sir.
And once the lockdown is over, then we'll think about your workshop 1 and workshop 2.
Sir.
Till such time, things will go on like this. We are initially taking up the core courses.
sir.
Then we will switch over to the content-based methodology. That means your teaching subject.
Okay.
Then your internship thing, the presentation about the internship, how you will do your internship, etc. Tips will be given. So that way we will proceed.
Sir.
And you see, you are all teachers, practicing teachers.
Yes, sir.
But I would definitely would like to tell you that never feel yourself as a teacher. You always
Sir.
feel yourself as a learner.
Sir.
The moment you feel that you are a teacher, you see a different kind of feeling will be there in your mind. And that will bring a kind of complacency.
Sir.
Okay. As
Sir.
you know, in the today in today morning session, Dr. Parsuram Rai Singh was telling, you see, there is nothing end to it. There is no end to anything.
Sir.
There is always scope for improvement. There is always scope for research,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
it?
Sir.
More and more knowledges are there outside. So we all are learners. You as a school teacher, you are also a learner.
Sir.
And the teacher who is teaching in the training colleges, they are also working as learners.
Sir, sir, definitely.
So please hold it for a minute. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Huh. Oh. ଆପଣ ଲ୍ୟାପଟପ୍ରେ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରନ୍ତୁ। ହଁ, okay. So he is still trying. There is some problem there in the connectivity. So till such time, let us have a discussion, general discussion on the subject. And anybody wants to put any question pertaining to the system, because I am not a subject expert. So subject related queries, I shall not be able to respond. But systemic point of view, if there is any issue which is there in you, that we will discuss and at least we will sort out.
Sir. Sir, I have one question, sir, to you, sir. Hello.
Yes, yes, please go on.
Sir, few days ago, we have got a message from IGNO that we can submit our assignments by 30th of September to appear the examination as per our admission status. So, how can we submit those assignments, sir?
September is far ahead. September
Sir.
is not closer. September is far ahead. You have sufficient time in between.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So it
Sir,
is only month of May. You
Yes, sir.
just wait. You are going
Okay.
to take the examination in December. So for you, there is absolutely no problem.
Sir.
You wait. If the situation persists, then you will submit the assignments online. Otherwise, you submit the hard copy at your study center.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
thank you,
Come
sir.
online.
Hello, sir. Sir, good afternoon, sir. I am Amresh.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I have one question. The study materials, can we get the hard copies of study materials?
Why not? If you have opted for hard copy, you definitely get. You will get by post.
Sir, with some days before, the message had come from IGNO. So I had preferred for hard copies.
Then you will get the hard copy. You will get the printed copy of the study material after the lockdown is over.
After lockdown, if lockdown again increases, then
you have to wait, because dispatch will not take place. Na post people cannot go to your doorstep to deliver the material.
yes, definitely.
Then you have to wait. The situation, is over. Isn't it?
Sir,
Thank
I
you,
have one
sir.
more doubt, sir.
Sir, good,
Hello.
Yes.
good afternoon, sir.
Sir. Sir, hello. I am Arun Naik, sir.
Please.
Hello.
Please put your question.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have one friend who is in second year B.Ed at City Raurkela. So, can I use his study material, sir, for writing the assignment?
No problem. If you can arrange study material from your senior students, well and good. It is better for you,
Sir,
isn't it?
my dilemma is actually, sir, whether the courses have changed or not.
What?
Whether the courses, what they are reading or what they are submitting, has been changed or it is equal to
Last year,
last year.
last year papers have not been changed. If you are,
Okay, sir.
please
Hello,
switch
sir.
up, please switch up your
Good
mic.
afternoon, sir.
Okay, sir.
If there is
Hello.
background knowledge, please switch off your microphone. If somebody is disturbing outside, you have to switch off. Otherwise, nobody will be able to listen. Ask your question, and switch off your microphone and listen to me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon.
myself, sir, Ajay Kumar Mahapatra.
Yes.
Sir, ଆମର workshop sir first year ର କେବେ ହେବ?
ମୁଁ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ହଜାରେ ଥର କହିଲିଣି, ଆପଣ ଶୁଣୁନାହାନ୍ତି ବୋଧେ। ଆପଣଙ୍କ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ ବିଷୟରେ ମୁଁ କେତେ ଥର କହିଲିଣି ଏବେ। ମୁଁ ତ ଏଇ ଭିତରେ 4 ଥର 5 ଥର ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିସାରିଲିଣି ୱାର୍କସପ୍ କେବେ ହେବ।
ସାର୍ ଟିକେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ତ ସାର୍।
ଆପଣଙ୍କର ୱାର୍କସପ୍ ଲକଡାଉନ ଟା ସରିଗଲା ପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଷ୍ଟଡି ସେଣ୍ଟର ଡିସାଇଡ୍ କରିବ। ନର୍ମାଲି ୱାର୍କସପ୍ ଗୁଡିକ ଛୁଟିକୁ ଆଖି ଆଗରେ ରଖି କରାଯାଏ। ଏବେ ଖରା ଛୁଟି ତ ସରିବା ଉପରେ। ଯଦି ଏଇ ମେ 17-18ରେ ଲକଡାଉନ ଟା ସରି ଯାଉଛି, ତାହେଲେ ହୁଏତ ନାଇଁ ତାପରେ ଜୁନରେ ହେଇପାରିବନି, କାହିଁକି ଜୁନରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପରୀକ୍ଷା ସମୟ। ଅବଶ୍ୟ ଏଥର ଜୁନରେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ହଉନି, ତେଣୁ ଜୁନରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ ମଧ୍ୟ ଚିନ୍ତା କରାଯାଇପାରେ। ସବୁ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛି ଲକଡାଉନ କେତେ ଦିନ ରହୁଛି। ଲକଡାଉନ ଟା ସରିଗଲା ପରେ ଷ୍ଟଡି ସେଣ୍ଟର
sir. Hello.
टीचर से डिसाइड
Sir, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
हाँ
yes,
हाँ
please wait. Dr.
Hello,
Sahu
sir.
has already joined. So
hello.
Dr. Sahu has already joined. So let us continue with his presentation. Then we will take up questions, and then if time permits, we will discuss about the systemic problems. Okay. So please switch off your microphone and listen to Dr. Sahu patiently. And exactly 4:10 or 4:15, we'll take up questions. So we'll continue up to 4:15. Okay. So please, I request all of you to listen to him patiently. Thank you. Dr. Sahu, please take over.
So sorry for connectivity problem. So am I audible now?
You are not visible. You just adjust your camera. Best. Now you are visible. Now you are visible.
Okay. So we are discussing the last unit, that the method of studying children and adolescents.
Please adjust your camera. Adjust your camera. Just please sit in front of the camera so that you. Best. Yes. Okay. Okay. It is all right. It is all right now.
So here in this unit, we discuss many things, the different methods of studying children and adolescents. Here we'll see the meaning and process of classroom research, action research, case study, then tools of research, observation, self-reports, interaction with children, children diaries, community record, anecdotal record, reflective journals, common problems in classroom implications for research. So now we'll see how we can study the behaviors of the children and adolescents. A teacher must know how we can study every child. How can we explore every individual? How can you know individual difference and what problems they are facing? So in this way, scientific investigation, research is necessary. So in a classroom, a teacher has to conduct research, that is classroom research, in different aspects. A teacher will to know that how well our students learning, how do children behave, how effectively our teachers teaching. So classroom, we can know how our classroom teachings, whether classroom teachings are effective or not, how far our students are benefited, how the children behave, whether they have positive attitude towards teaching and towards the teacher, whether teachers or have positive attitude towards students or not. So how far the students are learning, their how far their so how is their achievement. So all these things must be studied by the teachers. So hence classroom research, unless we conduct research, how can we know? So particularly so far as research is concerned, research involves that is evaluation. We have to evaluate the performance every child. So research, when that term research is concerned, this is the most neglected aspect, that teachers think their main job is only teaching. They went to school, took some classes, and their business is finished. That is not the sole business of the teacher. A teacher has to do beyond classroom. So research, he must know how research is conducted, how can you study the children. So when research is conducted in school by the teacher to solve the immediate problem of the students, and accordingly solution can be given in this respective field, that is action research. So the action research, that is the first way of understanding, studying the behavior of the children, studying different aspects, teaching methods, learning strategies, evaluation procedure, attitude and values, professional development of teachers, management and control. So different aspects we can conduct action research. In this context, question might be coming to your mind that we have different research, education research, fundamental research. So what is then action research? Action research, that is specifically meant for the school, by which we can solve the immediate problem of the school. That can be conducted in a particular class. Even the immediate problem, the main purpose is to solve the immediate problem. Suppose in class 8, there are 3 sections. In section B, the children are very poor in language. Section C, students are very poor in mathematics. Some students are found, most students are found very poor in speaking, as a spelling. So these are the immediate problems which are pointed out by the teacher. So how this problem can be solved? So what steps can be taken? So you know, when we talk of research, research means studying scientifically, systematically. So when research is, we call it that is science means systematic study. So systematically, how we can study about the problem of a classroom, problem of children. That is to be systematically studied. So for this, we have to plan, we have to select what is the real problem. Just with the spelling errors, improving the spelling error, or improving the speaking skill of children, developing arithmetic skill in mathematics. So these are the specific problems which are encountered by the teacher in classroom. So for this, these are the problems. These appear before the researcher as problem, and the researcher as a teacher as a researcher has to start with this, selecting one problem out of this. So for this, he has to prepare plan systematically. So first, that is also mentioned in your book, that identifying the problem, devise a plan, selecting a course of action, data collection, analysis, organizing data and writing, incorporating the result. So these are the different procedure of action research. So first step is identifying the problem. The teacher as a researcher has to identify one problem. How much time he will take to solve this problem, to find out the solution, what is the root cause. Suppose the mathematics. when assignment is given by the teacher, the students are solving all problems. Even the poor students, they are also capable of solving the problems. But in examination, they fail to score more. What is the problem? देखला बेलू कौन है ना से की बही रखिंट घरे सार जिते क्लास असाइनमेंट देदेले बही जो क्वेश्चन अच्छे से की बही देखिए करदेला किंतु एग्जामिनेशन देखला बेलू ठीक भाव कर पार नहीं. So we have to see the real find out the root cause of this. Similarly, the spelling problem देखिबा or say speaking problem. Particular साउंड ठीक भाव में पिला अटर कर पार ना तेणु प्रकृत कौन रोचे तेणु आम वी नो दैट स्पीकिंग इन्फ्लुएंस लिसनिंग इन्फ्लुएंस स्पीकिंग स्पीकिंग इन्फ्लुएंस रीडिंग रीडिंग इन्फ्लुएंस राइटिंग तेणु आम जब प्रॉपर लिसनिंग न हम से भाई इम्प्रॉपर स्पीकिंग हम इम्प्रॉपर स्पीकिंग हेले इम्प्रॉपर रीडिंग हम इम्प्रॉपर रीडिंग हेले इम्प्रॉपर राइटिंग हम. सो फास्ट प्रॉपर लिसनिंग इज नेसेसरी. तेणु गोटे पिला जब ठीक भाव में शब्द जब न शुणिला इम्प्रॉपर लिसनिंग जब है तेणु से ठीक भाव में कहीपर ना मुझे कहबी दायित्व दायित्व दैट इज टू बी प्रॉपर्ली आर्टिकुलेटेड. इफ ए टीचर स्पीक्स दायित्व सो द टीचर स्टूडेंट confused it is daitya or daitya. So clearly proper listening is necessary. यदि से दायित्व भाविला तेणु सिमिलरली राइटिंग रे लिखियो दायित्व. सो स्पेलिंग बा कहिबाटा ठीक से भली भाव हवा कथा. तेणु सेथिबाई टीचर मेटिकुलसली प्लान करिवे किमिति जानिबे से कोठी भूल रहिला से सब शब्द गुडा सिलेक्शन करिवे ताकू तापर प्रैक्टिस हबो. तेणु एई भली step-wise procedure, a plan has to be devised by the teacher. So systematically, system activities ताकू करिया पड़ियो teacher करिवे. So a teacher can very well, this is expected from teacher, very matured in this way. So they can do, then can effectively plan to solve this particular problem. As a result of this, action research can be fruitfully and effectively done by every teacher. So, but one thing positive, the teacher must have positive mindset towards this. It is seen that most of the teachers they do not have this research mind. Research minded हेतु हवा कथा, university mind हवा कथा, investigation, evaluation ऊपर मध्य गुरुत्व दवा कथा. तेणु सेथिबाई एक्शन रिसर्च को गोटे इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर हिसाब रे टीचर हिसाब गोटे एस्पेक्ट हिसाब देखा जाए फॉर स्टडीइंग द बिहेवियर. तापरे अनदर एस्पेक्ट इज केस स्टडी. हमें देखिबा जे गोटे पिला भारी साय रहउछि क्लास रे नॉट सो एक्टिव very passive. He is a passive listener. कार्य क्षेत्र रिजर्व काम काइंड क्वाइट बसुची एलोकनेस को से भल पाउची very introverted. So why is behaving like this? केवल classroom observation is not sufficient. Mere observing his behavior in classroom, inside the classroom, that will not provide the proper feedback to the teacher to solve his problem. So for this, detailed case study is necessary. We have to study this case very appropriately. So for this, we have to see, we have to go to his home, his family, meet his family members, whether he is passive in the class, whether he is active at home or not. The shy behavior is shows in at home or not. You know, all these things should be taken into account while studying this particular behavior. तेणु सेथिबाई केस स्टडी रे विभिन्न प्रकार एस्पेक्ट उपरे आमे ध्यान देवा दरकार एवं we have to collect data from different aspects. एथिरे केस स्टडी रे हेबर डिवाइड डिफरेंट स्टेप अछि. इंट्रोडक्शन, एनालिसिस, स्टेटस रिपोर्ट, सजेशन फॉर रेमेडिएशन एंड अपेंडिसेस. डिफरेंट पॉइंट रे हमको स्टडी करिया पड़ियो द स्टेप केस स्टडी. justification for studying the child. What is the justification? The purpose of the case study. आम कहीं से case study करिवा, that must be clear. The purpose must be very much clear. Identification of the child through factual information, name, class, address, the detail लिखा था. Family background, parents, education, occupational details, parenting style, aspiration regarding the child, health card, health report मध्य देना पड़े तारा. Physically how far he is well, illness, height, weight, nutritional status, physical disability, educational data similarly लिखा पड़े. The classroom test, the performance, score in different examination. लिखा पड़ो. हिज परफॉर्मेंस जो यूनिट टेस्ट रे फॉर्मेटिव इवैल्यूएशन कौन से करूची, यूनिट टेस्ट कौन करूची, तार पोस्ट स्कॉलास्टिक एक्टिविटीज, हिज परफॉर्मेंस इन पोस्ट स्कॉलास्टिक एरिया. डिबेट हला बासे एसे कंपटीशन हला से पार्टिसिपेट करूची करनी, गीत नाच से पार्टिसिपेट करूची करनी. ऑल दिस थिंग्स शुड बी टेकन इनटू अकाउंट. Similarly, psychological and social data through observation, we have to conduct interview. तार इंटेलिजेंस देखा पड़ो, मापिया पड़ो. इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट कौन अच्छी. तेणु शिक्षक जन केते कथा जानिबा दरकार. गोटे पिलार इंटेलिजेंस मापिया दरकार. इंटेलिजेंस जदि बिलो एवरेज हेइतो तेणु से तार परफॉर्मेंस ठीक हेबनी, पार्टिसिपेशन ठीक हेबनी. तेणु इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट कौन करछि, वेदर इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट आर अवेलेबल इन स्कूल और नॉट, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट, हाउ कैन वी एडमिनिस्टर इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट, हाउ वी गेट रिजल्ट्स, स्कोर किन पाया, हाउ कैन वी एनालाइज इट. सो मेनी थिंग्स a teacher has to know. The teacher must know different aspect evaluation. Suppose से teaching and evaluation पढ़ेबे एवं परीक्षा करिवे. That is these are the business. But परीक्षा जो करिवे, परीक्षा स्कोर पाइबे. So what is next to evaluation? आमे स्कोर पाइकी how can we interpret results? That is another aspect. पिलाटे जानला धरो मैथमेटिक्स परीक्षा देला 60 रखला. What does it mean? How can he interpret whether his score is highest score or lowest score? केते पिला ता ऊपर को केते पिला ता तळे अछंती. सो हिज पोजीशन, तार स्ट्रेंथ, वीकनेसेस से निजे जानिबा दरकार. तन हेति पई टीचर मस्ट बी प्रिपेयर फॉर दिस. हाउ टेस्ट रिजल्ट्स कैन बी इंटरप्रेटेड. सो ही मस्ट नो ऑल दिस थिंग्स. तन स्टैटिस्टिकल स्टैटिस्टिक मध्य से जानिबा टीचर जानिबे द मीन, मीडियन, मोड, तापर स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन, रो स्कोर कौन, जेड स्कोर कौन, स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन, नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. तेणु मिनिमम यही केतोटा सब जिनिस जानिबा दरकार, जद्वारा कि से पिलामानक रिजल्ट को इंटरप्रेट करि परिबे एवं पिलामानक जणाई परिबे दिस इज द रियल स्ट्रेंथ एंड वीकनेस, दिस इज हिज पोजीशन इन मैथमेटिक्स, साइंस, लैंग्वेज एटसेट्रा. सो इन व्हिच एस्पेक्ट ही इज डेफिशिएंट. सो ऑल दिस थिंग्स is the responsibility of the teacher to make the students know about them. And psychological determine the status of the phenomena about observation habo. तापरे सब स्टडी कर सरला परे डाटा आनिबे. पिलान को घरे जाई कि इंटरव्यू करिए बापा को. तेन केस स्टडी कला बेले बापा को पचारिबे जे पिला केते उठुची, अनुमान से मिसमिसने आपण हाते कथार्ता करे. मां से सुटी उठी पड़ी कि केवल टीवी देखे, खाए, तार घर पळाई जाए क्लास को, आम हाते कथार्ता करेनी. सी मध्य हेलो रहउची, रिजर्व रहउची, काम धीरे बसुची. तेणु एगुड़ा स्टडी पिला पेरेंट्स मन पाखर मध्य इंटरव्यू करिकि डाटा आनिबा दरकार. तेणु किमिति इंटरव्यू करिया पड़ो, कोन प्रश्न पचारिया पड़ियो, सेति टीचर प्रिपेयर हेबा दरकार. तेणु शिक्षक he is a social agent. He is a social agent. तेणु से सोसाइटी को जिबे, कम्युनिटी को जिबे, बापा सहित मिसिबे, पचारिए सब कथा. So his teacher is the caretaker. He has to take every care of the children. तापरे after taking or collecting information and data from various dimension, then he analyzes this, interpret this, and find out the solution. How this case can be properly handled, and what suggestion can be given. Then another tool, that is observation. Observation. This is an unscientific method. Of course, so we cannot, even if that is observation is unscientific, still then that helps a lot the teacher to evaluate the students' behavior. The teacher observe every classroom. In classroom, that is the formal. In classroom, they can also observe the students. So how many students are taking part in discussion? How many students are remaining silent? Some students are curious. Some students, you might have marked that some students they were no answer, but and concepts, languages are with them, but they fail to express. Some students are very creative. How can I identify creative students in class? Suppose a student answers is not unique, is a very unique, not accepted, very divergent answer, which is uncommon. So naturally, what as a teacher we do? We are not in a position to accept his answer. ମୁଁ ଯଦି ପଚାରିବି ଯେ କ୍ଲାସରୁମରେ ଆମେ ଅବଜର୍ଭ କରିବା କୋଉ ପିଲା whether he is ସେ ତ କ୍ଲାସରୁମରେ ଭଲ ଆନ୍ସର ଭଲ ରଖୁନି ସ୍କୋର କିନ୍ତୁ ତାର ଆନ୍ସର ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ପ୍ରକାର ଆସୁଛି କାହିଁକି ସେ ହ୍ୱାଟ ସିଚୁଏସନ prompts him to speak like this ମୁଁ ଯଦି ପଚାରିବି ଶିକ୍ଷକ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରିଲେ ଯେ ରାଇଟ୍ ଆର୍ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ୟୁଜେସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ବ୍ରିକ୍ ଇଟା କେମିତି ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ବ୍ୟବହାର କରାଯାଇପାରେ ତେଣୁ ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲି ଇଟା ଯଦି ସେଭଳି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆସିବ ମୋଷ୍ଟ କନଭର୍ସଡ ଆନ୍ସର ସବୁ ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟା ମୋଷ୍ଟ ଆକ୍ସେପ୍ଟେଡ କ'ଣ ନା ଏଇଟା ଘର ତିଆରିରେ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ କରାଯାଏ most students will answer this but there are some students very typical answer they speak ଯେ ଘର ସାର୍ ଏଇଟା ଗଛରୁ ଆମ୍ବ ତୋଳିବା ବେଳେ ଇଟା ବ୍ୟବହାର କରାଯାଏ ସାର୍ ଯେତେବେଳେ କବାଟ ବାଡ଼େଇ ହେଉଛି ପବନରେ ଇଟା ଦିଆଯାଏ so these answers ପିଲା ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଭଳିଆ ଦିଅନ୍ତି so naturally these last answer which seems at the bottom of this answer list these are not accepted by the teacher naturally and in this case the teacher has to analyze, he has to analyze those questions, those answers. What situation prompted that particular child to answer like this? And these questions, these reply are the symptoms or examples of creative students. Because those who are creative students, they have diversified thinking. They know the different solutions of a particular problem. But those who are intelligent, their answers are converged. Intelligent student, they will the first answer are mostly accepted, converged answer, they eat a So my point is, in the observations in classroom, if we observe those children, then we have to identify they are the good children, they are the creative children. So they must be properly taken care of, these cases, and should be motivated to create new things. So there are different observation as a system, very common method of very easy to observe the behavior of the students. So there are different types of observation, controlled observation. In controlled situation, we can observe the behavior. Playground ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସରେ ଦେଖିଦେବା କ୍ୟାମେରା ଲଗେଇଦେବା ଯେ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରେ କୋଉ ପିଲା ପଢୁଛି କେମିତିକା କିଏ ପିଲା ବଦମାସି କରୁଛି ଇନଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟି କିଏ ରହୁଛି ଆମେ ଜାଣିପାରିବା କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ସିଚୁଏସନରେ ବା ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ସାଇ ଯିଏ ସେ ଧୀରେ ବସିଥିବ କାହା ସହିତ ମିଶୁନଥିବ ଯୋଉ ପିଲା ଇନଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟି ସେ ବସି ପାରୁନଥିବ ଯାହାର ଇଏ ସ୍ପାନ୍ ବେଶୀ ନାହିଁ ଆଟେନସନ ସ୍ପାନ୍ ବେଶୀ ନାହିଁ ସେ ଏଠି ଉଠି ପଡୁଥିବ ତା ପିଲା ଦେଲା ଲାଗିଯାଉଥିବ ତା ବହି ଚାଲିଯାଉଥିବ ଟାଣି ଆଣୁଥିବ ସୋ this type of behavior can be observed in controlled situation by the camera. Then natural observation in say natural situation, we can observe the students. Suppose the adolescents are they can take risk taking behavior is seen among adolescents. So mountaineering, rock climbing, jumping, river rafting, ये सब सिचुएसन जेतेले दिया जीवो तन देखिया को पिला बेसी इंटरेस्ट दोचन देथिले तन हमें देखिबा रिस्क टेकिंग बिहेवियर को माने अछंती एडवेंचरस को माने त नेचुरल सेटिंग रे हमें से भलिया स्टडी करि परिया तर पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन जो थ्रे ऑब्जर्वर निजे पार्टिसिपेंट तेणु हमें पर्टिकुलर गोटे पिलार इंटरेस्ट सब्जेक्ट प्रति अच्छी कि नहीं आम जापर क्लास नोट्रु तेणु जिते आम तार क्लास नोट देखा कौन कौन तार प्रोब्लेम होची कौन थे से डेफिशिएंट देखिकी आम क्लास नोट्रु क्लास आंसर रु नोट प्रिपेरेसन आम जापर ऑब्जर्वर निजे पार्टिसिपेंट रहिले सो ऑब्जर्विंग the class note he can identify those mistakes, identify the such children, then take appropriate action. Then self reports पिला माननकु बेले बेले डाटा एसना ऑब्जर्व आमे कले किंतु आउ थर आउ उटे मध्ये प्रोसीजर अछि द सेल्फ रिपोर्ट से माने ताकू क्वेश्चनर माध्यम रे आमे मध्ये ताकू विभिन्न प्रश्न पचारि आमे तांको पाखु डाटा आनी परिबा तेणु कहते क्वेश्चनर ए सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस पिला जोटा पचार जाए व्हिच इज इन स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्म राइटिंग फॉर्म देमाने लिखिबे तेणु विभिन्न प्रकार क्वेश्चनर फॉर्म अछि क्लोज एंडेड क्वेश्चनर ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चनर क्लोज एंडेड क्वेश्चनर जोटी रेस्ट्रिक्शन अछि आमे जोटा यस नो टाइप जदि पचारिया डू योर टीचर लव यू खाली yes no only they will write yes or no agree or disagree cricket is a game that can be played by everyone whether they are agree or disagree how the scope nahi further lekhya pai so that is the close ended questionnaire another thing is open ended questionnaire so in open ended question there is scope ame jete pilan ko pachariba je sir jo padhele tom kimte lagila ko how to appreciate his teaching तेणु से भाव में ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन दे पारे से ऑप्शन लैंग्वेज एक्सप्रेशन से अनदर मेथड है इंटरव्यू आम साक्षात्कार जोटा आम कर तार ओडिया कहूँ साक्षात्कार तेणु केतोटा अच्छी टाइप स्ट्रक्चर्ड इंटरव्यू सेमी स्ट्रक्चर्ड इंटरव्यू एंड अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड इंटरव्यू जो आम विभिन्न प्रकार डाटा जाना धर जाओ मुझे कहबी रूल ऑफ से एसएमसी विलेज कमिटी मेंबर मानकर रूल कौन अच्छी स्कूल डेवलपमेंट रे तेणु मु पिला पचारि कौन टाइप अच्छी से स्ट्रक्चर्ड इंटरव्यू आम प्रश्न पचार कि जानवे जे से माने स्कूल मैनेजिंग कमिटी रे मेंबर अच्छा आवार अच्छा कि नहीं कौन कौन कहीं करा जाए स्कूल का एसएमसी मीटिंग फॉर्मेशन कहीं करा जानते कि नहीं स्कूल को आसती कि नहीं कमिटी मीटिंग केत थर हुए मीटिंग कौन कौन सजेशन निया जाए तांकर ओपिनियन को एक्सेप्ट करा जाए कि नहीं तेणु ये सब कथा जिते बड़े कौन ये सब आइटम गुड़ा लेखा जाए गोटे पेपर रे यही प्रश्न पचार जाए स्ट्रक्चर इंटरव्यू करा जाए सेमी स्ट्रक्चर सब क्वेश्चन पचार जी दरकार बेले बेले टॉपिक को देखिक आम कर सेमी स्ट्रक्चर आउ के रोचे अनस्ट्रक्चर से प्रश्न पचरा जाए सेमती प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर क्वेश्चन कौन पचरा जाए आगे लिखा जाए ना था अनकंस्ट्रक्टेड इंटरव्यू तेणु सब कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स एवं डिसएडवांटेजेस रोचे इंटरेक्शन विथ चिल्ड्रेन पिला सहित इंटरेक्शन करवा आम पचारिबा कौन कौन तांकर असुविधा रोचे से माने मध्य एक्सप्रेस करि परिबे एवं से अनुजाई जदि असुविधा रहा यहाँ बुझे बुझीगला यही पॉइंट रे आम आउ टिके दरकार फर्दर क्लारिफिकेशन तेणु बेसिंग ऑन दिस दैट a teacher can modify his teaching चिल्ड्रेन्स डायरी पिला जदि कह से डायरी मेंटेन करूँ डिटेल लिखु कौन कौन आज पढ़ागला कौन ये भल लगे कौन टीचर आज स्कूल कौन शिखिले ऑल दिस थिंग्स डायरी रे मेंटेन करेंगे से डायरी ना गोटे फॉर्मेट देदेवा कथा ना रौन क्लास स्टूडेंट डे रे कौन कौन सब शिखिले गोटे स्कूल से दिन कौन कौन सब शिखिले असेंबली पाखर क्लास एंड पर्यंत दैट इज टू बी maintained in their diary and according instruction to be given to the children. तापर cumulative record ताको कह cumulative record card, all the records of children must be maintained cumulatively. Then cumulative record card रे तांकर विभिन्न प्रकार सब तथ्य रहिबो, पर्सनल डाटा, तांका ना, सेक्स, डेट ऑफ बर्थ, एज, परमानेंट एड्रेस, पेरेंट्स नेम, फैमिली बैकग्राउंड, एकेडमिक डाटा रे मध्ये हेतु रहिबो, रोल नंबर, प्रेजेंट क्लास, एग्जामिनेशन को एग्जामिनेशन एपियर्ड करछि, तापर रिजल्ट्स कोन, डिवीजन, परसेंटेज ऑफ मार्क. तेनु प्रत्येक एठी क्युमुलेटिव प्रत्येक पिला मानकर गोटे रेकॉर्ड मेंटेन हबो, तांकर प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, प्रोग्रेस होइबो, सब्जेक्ट वाइज प्रोग्रेस मंथली से देखिबे जो टेस्ट हला, ग्राफ करके प्रत्येक पिलार मेंटेन हबो जे कोठी केते स्कोर रहला, तार पोजीशन कोन. तेनु प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट रे ग्राफिकली मेंटेन करा जा कथा. तापर हेल्थ रिलेटेड डाटा, बेले बेले पिलानकर आईसाइट डिफेक्ट था, तेणु टीचर क्लासरूम तक देखा कथा. ये पिला जड़े पिला पचार धरा जो कौन लिखले ब्लैक बोर्ड रिपीट कर सर कौन लिखले आम टीचर इग्नोर कर दो. तेणु ये पचारिया कथा शिक्षक कहीं से पचार बारंबार. तो डेफिनेटली तार विजन डिफेक्ट अच्छी. तेणु अकॉर्डिंगली डॉक्टर डाकिकी ट्रीट करवा ट्रीटमेंट करा था, आईसाइट डिफेक्ट बाहर करा था, अकॉर्डिंगली प्रॉपर फूड दवा कथा बा ग्लास जहाँ प्रेस्क्राइब करिए डॉक्टर एडवाइस नवा कथा. तेणु स्कूल कैंप करवा दरकार डॉक्टर कैंप. को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज पिला पार्टिसिपेशन डिफरेंट को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज देखा दरकार. खाली तो पाठ पढ़ाइले हेनी, को स्कॉलास्टिक अचीवमेंट कॉग्निटिव खाली कॉग्निशन कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट देखले हेनी, अदर participation, co-scholastic, scholastic that is cognitive aspect, non-cognitive aspect, his role, the role of every child, participation of every child in co-scholastic, non-cognitive aspect that is to be seen. So, pila how far he participates in other activities, debate gute karagala pila tinitiga kohuchi. Gute pila speaking power, there are most student. Some students are seen very much tongue-tied. Language introverted type. So how can we make them speak? Speaking habit develop opportunity creative कविता लिखती तेनाली स्कूल opportunity create करिया कथा. तेणु participation in different co-curricular activity आम देखा कथा, accordingly certificate दवा कथा. And it is seen that some teachers are some students have leadership quality. केतन पिला थांती लीडर हेबे ए परिया भलो मैनेज करी परिया ग्रुप लीडर होय. तेणु से भलिया leadership, they have leadership qualities. So those category, those type of children are to be identified by the teacher. And जो पिलार सही ability अच्छी, specifically those teachers to be identified.
Dr. Sahu, sorry for interruption. We are running shortage of time. If you can conclude in 2-3 minutes, please conclude.
Okay. Oh, sir. Okay.
And then we will take up the questions from the students. So many questions have been asked through the chat box. So after you conclude, then we'll take up the questions.
Sir, in 2-3 minutes, just I am concluding. So after cumulative record card, so all these things will be taken into account. All participation in different activities that is to be recorded in school. Anecdotal record is specific incident that happens in case of a child that is to be recorded. But if a child thinks that is the proper incident to be recorded, bus train, playground, if some important incident occurs, event occurs, and that situation is to be recorded and analyzed and discussed before the teachers. These are anecdotes. So how anecdotal record is prepared, maintained, that is to be discussed by the teachers, proper instruction accordingly to be given to them. Then reflective journals, that is to be maintained by every student teacher. In this reflective journal, what is the reflection to be done in this journal? There is suppose a school. So about school, so what is about the school, your opinion about the school? Does the school reflect the inclusive nature? How is the leadership style of the head of the school? And what are the uniform, what approach I have to adopt in class to reflect generally all these things about the school, about him, about the person's self, that is to be reflected in his journal. So in this way, these are the different methods of studying behavior of children and adolescents, and basing on these
The slide will move
methods.
the camera towards you. Slide will move the camera towards you.
So now these are the methods of studying behavior, and which are quite helpful to the teachers, and the teachers must have sound knowledge in this aspect to study the behavior of children as well as the adolescents, and applies, and the teacher is convergent in this different aspect, so he can do justice, and he can be an effective classroom teacher, and study every teacher, and the appropriate guidance can be given to them, and he can justify that he is a good guide and counselor, and at large he is a mentor of every learner. So with this I conclude, and thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your nice presentation on BES-121. Now we'll
Sir,
take up
it is all, sir.
now we will take up questions which are asked by our students through the chat box.
Sir, कौन देखिए
Here, Shivani Parada is asking, mention the different ages of the different stages of cognitive development. It is a very big thing, you see, it will take a lot of time.
Oh, sir.
You know, that sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. So all these stages have been given there in your study material. Dear Parida, dear Shivani Parida, please go through your study material. The stages of development have
sir, खाली कही दूँ sir, sensory motor from birth to 2 years, pre-operational 2 to 7 years, concrete operational 7 to 11 years, and formal operation 11 and beyond.
Thank
so
you.
these are the
Thank you. The answer could be very specific, sir. There are so many questions.
sir, आप दिए.
We cannot take up all those questions. And then Sitam Mahant is asking, what is negative emotion? Please give some example.
Positive emotion.
The negative.
Like,
He's asking negative emotion.
hatred, hatredness, fear, anger. Those are aggressive in nature. Outburst anger of जो माने से जो negative emotion. Emotional हे जानती, रागी जानती, घृणा करती, भय हसिला, पिलानु वाडेले से ए भला होची negative emotion.
Okay.
On the contrary, positive हला curiosity आसीबो, joy, happiness, खुशी रहिबा आ कोन. तेनु जो मा साधारणतः मुडी पिला ସେମାନେ negative emotion.
Biswajit Behra is asking, what is called situational development? Situational development.
Situational development.
Situational development. What is situational development?
Situational development कौन? Situation कौन पड़ा? Proper ठीक है रे पता है जानी परनी.
Okay.
Situational development.
Either that should be physical development, emotional development, spiritual. I think this spiritual development must.
So what is situational development? I don't understand. Situation कौन से पहला concept?
Yeah. Actually, it is a wrong question. Question should be either physical, mental, emotional,
social, moral.
Yes, these are the different types of developments. So anyway, another question is Jinnarani Padhi. How assimilation and accommodation help a child reach equilibrium? How assimilation and accommodation help a child to reach equilibrium? Is it related to the topic, today's topic?
से एथरे सार अछि.
Okay.
आई हमरो से cognitive development रे. Piaget, according to Piaget, cognitive development occurs from two processes: adaptation and equilibrium. adaptation involves the child changing to meet situational demand. Adaptation रे सर दीटा प्रोसेस रूट assimilation आ गुटे होची accommodation.
Okay.
दीटा प्रोसेस रहिला.
Okay.
Assimilation रे कोन होची ने ए द application of previous concept to new concept. जदि गुटे पिला धरा जाऊ डॉग पिलाटा आगरु जानिछि डॉग कोन डॉग रो चारिटा गुडो किंतु पर से कॉन्सेप्ट डॉग कॉन्सेप्ट तार आसीला तापर जेतले से कैमेल देखिला से कैमेल को देखि डॉग किंतु लेटर स्टेज रे ड्यू टू accommodation he identified he find the difference between dog and camel.
Okay.
And that is called equilibrium. So equilibrium stage re now he is ready to accommodate the prior concept, previous concept, and he is confirm himself that this is not dog, this is camel. So another concept, first dog concept, then camel, that is another animal is confirmed.
There is another question by Sitam Mahanti. He is asking what will be the impact of developmental crisis. Developmental crisis.
Developmental crisis. Erickson sir, Erickson रो 8टा अच्छी स्टेज ताकू आमे डेवलपमेंटल क्राइसिस कहू.
Okay.
जे केतबेले ट्रस्ट मिसट्रस्ट
Yes.
एगुड़ा सर केतबेले से रहूची. तेणु केतबेले गोटे पिला निजको अनको जतले अन्य को विश्वास करूचे ही लव्स मी बापा को से देखिला बापा मत भल पाउछन से ट्रस्ट से विश्वास कले कि जतबेले से अन्य सिचुएशन रे जोटे हेटेडनेस अछि बा भल पाउनांती से मिसट्रस्ट होउची ताको से विश्वास करि पर नांती. तेणु एई पर ट्रस्ट एंड मिसट्रस्ट simultaneously that appears to his mind. So से भाव industry and inferiority. जतबेले देखुची गोटे पिला धरा जे गोटे पोएम टा लिखिला भलो हला that is appreciated by teacher. जतबेले मोटिवेशन आसिला से आउ another poem से लिखुची आउ गोटे भलो पोएम टे लिखिला किंतु जतबेले गोटे पिला धरा जे भरो ड्राइंग करूची ड्राइंग कला एवं दाउटी भलो ड्राइंग कले भी टीचर अप्रिशिएट करना दी एदा रादर पार्टी करछन हे से ड्राइंग रे कोन हबो पाठ पढ अमुक तेणु से ड्राइंग भल करता ड्राइंग टा भूलीगला तापरे एपटे अदर आस्पेक्ट को पळै आसिला अदर आस्पेक्ट मध्ये जेहेतु से पॉजिटिव रिइनफोर्समेंट पाइलानी तेणु अदर आस्पेक्ट मध्ये ठीक भाव रे इंप्रूवमेंट होनी. तेणु इंडस्ट्री इन्फेरियोरिटी ट्रस्ट मिसट्रस्ट सब बेले ता भीतर आसी थाए. तेणु से डिलेमा ताऊ कहते डेवलपमेंटल क्राइसिस आसे एवं से मध्य तापर से he takes an action.
Mr. Pradeep Palta Singh, please switch off your microphone. Mr. Pradeep Palta Singh, please switch off your microphone. Your feedback is coming. Disturbance is coming. Sir, there is another question. Sir, there is another question by Little Samal. She is asking, is moral development a part of psychological development?
हाँ साइकोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट सब तार मोरल डेवलपमेंट आसियो ने कहीं जतले द क्वेश्चन मोरल मीन्स मोरालिटी मीन्स द क्वेश्चन ऑफ राइट एंड रॉन्ग. so psychology our mind how far we know this is right and this is wrong judgment this is higher order of the thinking ratios. so morality आरंभ होची द डिफरेंस बिटवीन राइट एंड रॉन्ग. जत पिला से डिलेमा रे पड़ी जाउची से ठीक करिवो कोन जा करिवो से जानि पार नै कॉपी करिवो बोले नै आइछि किंतु से कॉपी करि पार नै एबड भाबुची मु जदी कॉपी करिवि तो प्रथम से आगे सेल्फ सेंटर निज कथा भाबुची मु जदी कॉपी करिवि पनिश्ड हेबी तापर भाबुची ना मते सुसाइड बापा मांकर जो एक्सपेक्टेशन सेटा तांको धोखा देबी जे बापा कहबे भलो पढुची किंतु देखला मु कॉपी करि मार रखिची तो नै भलिया लास्ट से भाबुची ना ना कॉपी करा ठीक जस्टिस नो मते इंटीग्रिटी सेटा को तापर एक्सेप्ट करूची ना दिस इज इनजस्टिस एंड दिस शुड बी माय इंटीग्रिटी इफ अबाउट द यूजिंग इनक्रिमिनेटरी एक्शन.
There is another question by Akshay Kumar Sahu. He is asking what is selective optimization with compensation.
सिलेक्टिव सर सिलेक्टिव ऑप्टिमाइजेशन एटा एडल्ट जो लाइफ स्पान मॉडल रे रहूची अप्रोच लाइफ स्पान पर्सपेक्टिव रे एडल्ट स्टेज रे आमे जते बेले व्हाइल अंतर गोटे पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट बा एम्बिशन आमे नो ऑब्जेक्टिव हम डाक्टर हवा पाई डाक्टर काहे कि मु डाक्टर हवा पाई सिलेक्शन हला मु काहे कली सेटा व्हाई डिड आई चूज दिस बा जॉब सेटा मु काहे कली तेणु आउट ऑफ वेरियस ऑप्शन तेणु मु कहीं सिलेक्शन डाक्तर कली हेली मु तेणु बहुत सारा ऑप्शन थाई पारे से भाबुथो इंजीनियर हेबी डाक्तर हेबी कोडा तेणु जदि से डाक्तर हला इंजीनियर हवा इच्छा थिले भी इंजीनियर हवा जहाँ जहाँ एवेन्यू बा अपॉर्चुनिटी से अवेल करथा ही विल लूज तेणु गोटे डॉक्टर हवा अलग को लूज करिया पड़े साइमल्टेनियसली से डॉक्टर हो पारिबनी बा सोशल वर्कर हो पारिबो नहीं बा एकेडमिशियन हो पारिबो नहीं तेणु एगुड़ा को जानी थिले भी बा इच्छा थिले भी हो पारिबो नहीं ओनली ही हैज टू सिलेक्ट दिस जॉब डॉक्टर तेणु डॉक्टर हवा से पढ़ा दरकार साइंस से भल करवा दरकार जदि से स्कूल ठीक भाव अपॉर्चुनिटी दौनी तेणु हाउ कैन ही कंपेनसेट आमर स्कूल जो भाव सिचुएशन ठीक भाव में साइंस रे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं पिला जानिया पाई लैबोरेटरी ठीक नहीं जर्नल ठीक नहीं तेणु सो ही विल कंपेनसेट in purchasing different journals so that he can get appropriate knowledge of student knowledge from journals scientific he can enrich his scientific knowledge so this is how he compensates his lacuna.
Okay,
So
so there is another question. Chinmay Dhorwa is asking, what is holistic development? I think it's all right.
that is very common. Holistic development, whole development, interlinked. All developments are interlinked. Physical development will help develop other mental development will help other development to develop. So physical development, mental development, emotional. मुझे जब ठीक भाव में सोशल मोर डेवलपमेंट है मुझे मोर कोऑपरेशन नहीं मु आई पी नॉट फ्रेंडली तो केते सब बेसिक ट्रेड्स रहउची धर जो सोशिएबिलिटी सोशल डेवलपमेंट डेवलप पाई सोशिएबल होबा पड़ियो सोशिएबल होबा पाई बेसिक ट्रेड हला फ्रेंडलीनेस फ्रेंड क्रिएट करिया पड़ियो तो ग्रुप रे से मिसिबो तेणु से फैमिली दरकार सब इंटरलिंक तो रहिबो एवं फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट मेंटल डेवलपमेंट को मध्य जब फिजिकली जन ठीक नथिबो तार ब्रेन ठीक नथिबो तो कॉग्निटिव तार डेवलपमेंट ठीक रही परिबनी सोशली से सोशल डेवलपमेंट सोशल डीलिंग्स पाई मध्य दरकार कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटी इंटेलिजेंस दरकार तेणु जने इंटेलिजेंस जन देखिबा जो आर मोर सोशिएबल दे आर इंटेलिजेंट डेफिनेशन देखिबा इंटेलिजेंस डेफिनेशन एबिलिटी टू एडजस्ट तेणु जो पिला भल एडजस्ट कला से इंटेलिजेंट तेणु से मेंटल ग्रोथ मेंटल डेवलपमेंट प्रॉपर्ली हवा दरकार एवं तेणु से ऑल डेवलपमेंट्स आर इंटरलिंक्ड जदि सब गुड़ा दरकार खाली फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट भी हेले हेबनी सोशल डेवलपमेंट हेबनी खाली जदि मेंटल डेवलपमेंट हो पाला नेग्लेक्टेड है कॉग्निटिव ठीक भाव एक्सरसाइज हो पालानी से डेवलपमेंट हेबनी तेणु प्रॉपर खाली पिला हेलाबन ठीक भाव में जत्न नवा कथा हाउ वेदर दिस इज डेवलपमेंट इज प्रॉपर्ली developed or not. Every aspect is properly developed or not.
Okay. Prafulla Samal is asking the difference between pre-conventional and post-conventional morality.
At a pre-conventional morality, he is self-centered. He is thinking.
Conventional morality.
He is thinking about himself. That starts from self-centeredness to other-centeredness. ये जो प्री-कन्वेंशनल सेल्फ सेंटर्डनेस पिलाटा नहीं आई इनक्रेडिट कॉपी नहीं आई किंतु से यूज करूनी से टीचर कहि जे यूज करिवो से ताको फेल करा जिवो तेणु से निजे कनसर्न जे मु जदी कॉपी करी मते सर फेल कर देबे मु दंड पाइबी सो ही इज कनसर्न अबाउट हिमसेल्फ तापर लास्ट रे ही एनालाइज करूची एवं पोस्ट कन्वेंशनल स्टेज रे यूनिवर्सल एथिकल प्रिंसिपल से डिराइव करूची he applies his conscience and that becomes his personal integrity then post conventional stage रे जे से तार conscience apply करूची that is माने भाबु अन्य मान को कथा भाबुची मु जदी करबी ताले others will think ill of me this is unethical so this is reasoning he applies his reasoning and he takes as his integrity then it doesn't use incriminating materials at post-conventional stage.
So these are some of the questions, important questions, which were put by some of the students of B.Ed. So now, it is already 4:30. Our students must be desperate to leave the classroom.
Okay, sir.
Without
ಮೊದಲೇ
spending
ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್
time,
చేయಲ್ಲ.
yes, without spending much time, let me first of all thank you for
Thank you,
taking
thank
such
you.
a marathon session from 2 o'clock from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Sir,
And
ଆହୁରି ମାନେ ତ
I
ସେ
am
ସାର୍
also very
ସିଲାବସ୍
much
ଟା ସେଇଭଳିଆ ହେଇଛି.
yes, I am also very much thankful to the students who have also sat in the classroom for such a long long duration. Normally, the duration of the classroom is 2 hours, but it is 2:30, 2 hours 30
237.
minutes. So I, on behalf of the regional center, thank all the learners and thank you, sir. Personally, I thank you personally.
Thank you, sir.
And tomorrow we shall be talking about the remaining portion of the course, that is BES
How the
121.
last block ta sir ಇಲ್ಲ.
Yes,
BS
that is the last block, and all the students are requested to please come prepared. Actually, go through the study material and jot down some points and come to the class, online classroom, so that we'll discuss meaningfully towards the end of the session. So with this, I thank all the students, and I especially thanks Dr. Sahu for
Okay,
the nice
okay, sir. Thank
presentation.
you all students and thank you, sir.
Thanks both of you, sir, and goodbye to all
Thank
my colleagues.
Thank you, thank
Thanks
you
all.
very much. Thank
thank
you,
you, thank you so much.
thank you. Wish you a good day. We are
Thank
meeting.
you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. We'll meet tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
प्रगति पात्र तुम ये बंद करना कहीं मोबाइल हेलो